Hello everyone, welcome, namaste, suswagatam, jai hind. Welcome to our episode number 119th of our Expert Talk live show. I am thrilled to have you all here tonight as we dive into a topic that resonates with everyone, that is managing difficult conversations. So we all encounter challenging conversations, whether at work or in our personal lives or within our communities. Navigating this discussions with grace and effectiveness can make a world of difference in your relationships and overall success. That's why tonight's session is so important, and I'm excited to introduce our speaker who will guide us through this journey. So, let us welcome Deepty Tiwari on the show. Hi, Deepti, welcome on the show.
Hi, Vipul. Thanks so much for inviting me. Good evening, everyone, and namaste. And I'm super excited to be here because Friday is the day like people must be watching movies or going shopping. But look what Vipul is doing with all of us. So thank you so much for doing that and taking so much of effort for organizing this and bringing all of us together here.
Pleasure is ours. Thank you for accepting my invitation, and thank you for being ready to join on the weekend. So we are thankful to you. In fact, so audience. I'm your host for the day, Vipul M. Mali, founder of Post Resume HR Consultancy. So we provide recruitment services across India and Africa, particularly for mid to senior level management positions in IT, engineering, manufacturing, pharmaceuticals, and textile industries. And additionally, we also offer job seekers through various services like resume writing, LinkedIn profile optimization, and career coaching. And we believe that sharing is caring, and purpose of this expert talk show is to bring in industry experts like Dipti, who will come here and who will share their real life experience with all of us to help us with our career growth, being personal, professional. So do check Dipti's LinkedIn profile. You can follow her. You can also connect with her, and you can get her assistance after this live session, and she'll be happy to help you. And do subscribe our YouTube channel, Vipul the Wonderful, and press the bell icon to get the regular live event updates. And you can also check the 118 episode we had till now on our channel and share it with your network to help them. And uh, so Dipti's coaching skills empower individuals to navigate personal and professional challenges. Uh, trans, uh, Transform limiting stories and achieve their goals. With 18 years of experience living, working in 5 countries, that's amazing. And Dipti embodies shifts and transformations. She has brought mindset transformation to clients in international development organizations, banks, and independent sectors, including scholars, entrepreneurs, and traders. Dipti believes anyone can reach their dreams with awareness, clarity, rituals, milestones, and accountability. Whether you need motivation, clarity, or a career restart, Dipti's expertise and certification can guide you to success. She is passionate about making lasting impact, and Dipti holds a master degree in regional planning and is certified ICA approved coach and NLP master. So, in today's session, Dipti will share techniques to stay calm, focused during difficult conversations, strategy to listen actively and empathetically, and tips to frame your thoughts clearly and assertively, and ways to create positive outcomes even in the most challenging scenario. And don't forget, we would also love to have your questions, so you can ask your questions in the chat box and get direct answers from Dipti. So without further ado, let's welcome Dipti Tiwari. Dipti, thank you for joining once again, and the floor is yours. Please tell us something more about you and your journey till now before we start the Q&A.
Thanks so much, Vipul. I really like how organized you are, and I'm learning a lot from this session already. About me and my journey till now, I started my profession working for United Nations, and before that, government of Gujarat, actually responding to earthquake disasters and kind of helping the rehab and recovery projects, and that led me to work with United Nations to respond to tsunami project. And while I was working with the UN and different humanitarian agency, I realized that I kind of really love this profile of serving people and humanitarian work, and I kind of wanted to see transformation more like in a faster way, because humanitarian work is like a drop in the ocean, which is great. All respect to people who are working there, but I wanted to see results fast. So I got an opportunity to work with a team actually in a Swiss NGO to kind of coach the whole team and transform their life, and that really changed like overall perspective in terms of where I'm aligned to. And this is the field that really resonates with me, who I am, and I feel like I'm a people's person, and their transformation really means my transformation, and that helped me to kind of pivot and now work full time as a coach. So I've been working as a coach for last 7 years, and I've been doing group coachings, and I've been doing one-on-ones, as well as I've been also doing a few collaborations like today I'm doing with Vipul. So that's a little brief about myself.
That's really amazing and inspiring. You have, traveled into 5 countries, so you have seen different cultures and different environments, and that experience you are, transforming to others to excel their career, their life. So that's really amazing, and keep it up. So moving on to the very first question of the day, and yes, audience, as I've said, type in your questions in the chat box. We would love to have them. So the first question is very, what factors contribute to conversation being classified as a difficult for you?
Right. So, since our topic for today is how to handle difficult conversations effectively, I would start with an opposite sentence, like conversations are never difficult. It's us who makes things difficult because of our expectations, and how perfect everything has to be, how it has to be favoring us, and it should be more aligned to our outcomes. And when we really lose the perspective of other people and we don't involve them, or even if they are a little bit aggressive and they are not inclusive, we match their body language, their physiology, and we also get triggered, and then things becomes totally not easy. So if we all like kind of look into our life, like what do we want in our life? We all want to kind of a quality life, right? We all struggle from morning to night, and we want to be happy and contented, and we want to have quality. And when we have these kind of interactions and interchanges in our life, it brings to our notice that this really takes away the quality of our life. Remember any fights or any conversations that were difficult, and which made you feel like, oh, I lost it, and why that person has to be so hard. It must be so difficult for you to sleep that night, or maybe bring that anger or frustration to your family, right? How it easily travels. And then you could see that also transferring to the moods and feelings of your family members. So I guess it's all about awareness and knowing that life is going to be difficult, conversations are going to be difficult, and for us it we have to be in the alignment that and knowing that not everything will be a yes for us. So even when you're going for any conversation, be it a promotion, or be it signing a deal with your client, or be it some toxicity that's happening in your office, in your business, or with your coworkers, if you feel like something is really difficult, you have to really start thinking like why I'm feeling it difficult. And the reason is, whenever something is not the way it should be, like morning to evening, our routine, we start feeling unsafe about it. So having to feel safety, and have and being open to knowing that everything is not going to go your way, is the first way to handle any kind of difficult conversation in your life. Let's say you wake up and in the morning you decide what breakfast we are going to eat. Everyone in the house will have a different opinion, right? And but you have to rush to your other part leg of your day. So really aligning, how do you decide, how do you make decisions, right? Sometimes some you say, okay, we are going to have this because you like it, we are going to have this. So it's like it's participatory, right? People get to make choices and everyone feels inclusive, and that's how you run and you're a happy family, right? So I guess this is what it is when everyone feels inclusive, everyone's feel aligned and feel safe, and that's how it is in any difficult conversation in life.
Really means very very well said. You need to first accept that difficult time will come or this will happen, then things, your perspective become different. So that's really true. So the next question is, how do you prepare mentally and emotionally? Accepting will definitely give you a readiness, but how do you actually prepare mentally and emotionally before entering into difficult conversations?
Right. So, usual our day-to-day chat in terms of a routine, that is kind of okay because we get accustomed to everyone's behavior, we know their personality. But when we get out in the real world, we get to see so many people with so many different perspectives, with a different personality, different upbringing, and also maybe a different expectation in terms of how things are going to turn out, different opinion. I guess the first preparation in terms of mental is knowing that there will be difference, as we started saying. Like there's nothing like black and white. And also expecting that, oh, this is how a linear conversation is going to be. We will start from A and we finish to B is like really a bad idea, because these conversations, whether difficult or non-difficult, they never finish in a straight line. So they are more like a modular. So you have to do a lot of trial and error to see in terms of when you're interacting with that person, how is this flow going on? How is this person responding? What kind of interest this person has? What is this person's perspective? So being open to that. So when it comes to mental preparedness, is like being open, like totally open to anything, any possibility. If you stick to, let's say if you go for a promotion talk and you say, no, I really want a 50% raise, I will not take anything less than that. More than that, that's okay. So if you go with that fixed mindset, right, and if your boss is going to give you only 40, then because you did not do a mental preparation of that cushion, it will be difficult for you. You might feel a bit of uneasiness because you might feel like, oh, I did not take a stand. I thought that I'm going to ask for this and I did not ask. And you start showing yourself, seeing yourself down and things like that. So mental preparation is really being open and really benchmarking, like what is your place, like what is it, what is the benchmark beyond, and a bracket beyond which you will not go, or less than that which you will not achieve, or accept, sorry. So it's all about really defining those indicators, and also knowing that things are going to be different. Things are, because we all are different. When we started this call, you asked me, do you have any quotes? And I really like this quote, which I'll bring it here. It says, know all the theories and master all the techniques. But as you touch a human soul, be just another human soul. You can't be just yourself. So that's what it is about mental preparedness. Like just be ready to be in other shoes, other person's souls, not be fixated just by yourself. The second preparation is about emotional preparedness, which is more like really checking in, because our body is kind of attuned to put ourselves to safety, and safety is like what I want is safe. What you don't want is not safe, right? So, really emotionally checking in, like, how do I feel when I'm not feeling unsafe? Like, what do we do if someone comes in, threaten us? Everything is like stressed and tight, right? How would you feel, like the temperature raising up? So emotionally aware and prepared, like if my physiology is going to change, that would mean that something is not right in that conversation. Because most of the times we only get to know things have gone wrong when we are like almost half of the place of conflict. We're like, oh, we are fighting now, okay, we didn't know that. So checking in early with your physiology, it really helps. So these are the two ways I would say, like really pre-preparing and being aware about how your body's reacting, which direction you're going, and that will really help you to keep a calm, side of the conversation.
Very, very well said. So you rightly said that, I will take it like that, Vicky. It's not always important that you will win. So winning is not always important. It's like creating a win-win situation rather than, it's not, it should not be a one-side win, but it should be creating a win-win situation, and balancing is very important. I will say in this conversation.
Totally. Because I feel, no, if you win alone, it's not fun, right? Winning together has a different chemistry also. So if possible, why not we win together and find that middle ground if it's not at stake for anyone.
True, very true, very true. Great. So now moving on to the next questions. What techniques do you use to manage your emotions during a challenging discussions?
This is interesting. Yeah. So as I said, a lot goes to the awareness. So as I said that you have this physiology and you could see जैसे गिरगिट होता है, right? Like a chameleon, you know how threat comes in, that animal changes the colors, right? So because it wants to kind of blend to the nature and no one sees that creature and no one attacks it. So we have to also know that we are changing colors, we are heating up, and it could be okay, so this is just something internally. No one else can see us. They might see some frown or tense emotions on our face, but sometimes we have a poker face, so they might not see. So, how do we really manage that and, to kind of channel down, first of all, control our trigger? So, first of all, knowing that we are in trigger, that is very important, and asking ourselves why I'm triggered. Why? So most of the time is right, the person is saying you are not right, and it takes a lot of ego for a human being to accept that you are not right. So and person who is saying that definitely doesn't have emotional intelligence, because a person who already know how to handle a conversation, they would really tell in a different way you are not right. So you are definitely dealing with a tough person. So how do you handle this challenge is once you realize that you are triggered, you have to tell yourself, ask yourself, what are my stakes here, what I'm losing, and really driving yourself towards safety. We are feeling unsafe because we are triggered, right? And we are feeling that we are going to lose something. So really telling yourself that I'm not going to lose anything. It's not like I know what I want, and if it doesn't happen, I know this is my bracket, and either the conversation is over peacefully or we find a solution. But there's nothing like going to a level where everything becomes challenging and it turns to a fight. We decide, none of the conversation give you a solution straight away, so we decide whether this is it or we meet again with another strategy. So it's really a, getting to know yourself, your internal trigger. B, asking yourself like why I'm triggered. And C, is basically what we do is to ground ourselves, to find your core, because our core is the most authentic self. When we are triggered, we are not authentic self, we are trying to be someone else. So once we are breathing and grounded and calm, the person in front of us will automatically start mirroring that. Because if we do, like I do a lot of role modeling with my clients, like sometimes the interview person is very aggressive, so tell us about yourself, why you think you're so unique, why we should hire us. So it's, these are also the ways of seeing how do you get triggered. And the more you keep calm and authentic self, a, you will be confident because you're authentic. The moment we are not authentic, we are not confident. And b, when you're authentic, you will speak from your heart, not from safety and that kind of language which doesn't work for our ecosystem. So that's how we practice in role play. Like, how do you keep your calm in a conversation, be it negotiation, be it promotion, be it interviewing, is staying grounded and breathing and just connecting to yourself. So these are the three things I would say, and once you're grounded, things would definitely go smooth.
Yeah, I agree to this. You rightly said many times, the person in front of you is, his natural tone is like so aggressive that you feel that he is provoking you, but he is actually not provoking you. That is his natural tone. So you should
True.
understand what the person is, who the person is, and how he is. And I liked your first point which you've said, that you should see what is there in the stake. Because many times होता क्या है कि when there's ये conversations में और गुस्से में काफी बार we do what many wrong things, and फिर पता चलता है कि I did something wrong and नहीं करना था, या there you have not checked before the during the situation that what was there on the stake. And then after the when the event is over, then nothing is in your hand.
True.
So very
That's true.
right.
And I think that leadership doesn't come on the spot. When you enter that zone and you tell yourself that I'm going to be a good leader here, I'm going to be an emotionally intelligent leader here. So you are basically already preparing yourself to be in that zone. So things are going to less affect you less. Whereas if you go like unprepared, even mentally, like, okay, we'll see how things are going to be, we'll respond, then it's only crisis response. It's more reactive, not rather than proactive. So it's a lot of mental preparedness before you enter that space, I would say.
Very true. Yes, audience, for one-on-one conversation or for any direct help, you can definitely check Dipti's profile, and you can even follow both of us to get our regular updates. And yeah, so the next question is, what communication strategies have you found most effective when dealing with this kind of tough conversations?
Right. I think the most important thing is to realize that alignment is very important, because any conversation is difficult because there is no alignment in terms of expectations and really benchmarking it. Because sometimes people imagine in words, okay, you said that in your email, you said that in the contract, and so we assume that. So it's very important to check in regularly and find that alignment. If you start seeing that there's some misunderstanding when it comes to things are not going well, or there's some tensions going on, rather than it takes a turn towards north and south. So really finding that alignment, and for that maybe keeping that accountability as well, like, hey, I wanted to check in, things are going as per our original plans or not, or do you think, kind of taking feedback as well as being accountable to what I have done as per whatever the terms of contracts were there. uh, Another, like, be from the emotions point of view, communication strategy is mostly keeping whatsoever the worst situation is, keeping the calm, right? Because it's such a easy word to be calm, but it be calm is basically be yourself, right? So when you are yourself, all strategies will come up as your authentic self. It won't be something you are borrowing at the moment with the heat of the moment, saying yes to things you don't want, agreeing to concepts which you don't agree. So, or even asking for some time to have some thinking time, or maybe you want to consult with some other people because it's not really taking you somewhere. So it's basically a lot of negotiations when it comes to communication strategy, and also agreeing in between that, hey, if the problem is complex, that we might not find a solution right away, and we are not in hurry, and we feel that things are getting a bit tense, why not we take a space and reconnect with our redefined priorities. So this kind of openness and an attitude that we are seeking solutions, than to say that who is bigger or who is right or whose perspective is brighter, rather than seeing from that space. Another last thing that could also help, and there are many actually, I'm saying last so that we could cover other questions as well, is also being open to see other person's perspective, because sometimes we are like asking them, but sometimes when we are also open to see the third person's perspective, like, okay, where are they coming from, why it's bothering them, and really understand that, okay, it's real, like what they're saying, or maybe it's not, then how you can help them to identify your perspective. So it's a lot of working together, and with her code of conduct, and really aiming towards solutions.
Yeah, so you have rightly said the last point, but try to see other person's perspective, because it's been said that grass is always greener on the other side of the fence. So you should put your leg in other person's shoe, so
Yes.
to see and feel that what he is feeling. And just to add upon, you rightly said, agreeing is also an art. Many times someone is saying something to you, you don't agree, but you should start your conversation that yes, you are right, but this should be done, or but I think that this is what it should be, or this is what are the other options. So you have agreed in the very first sentence. So वो एक मेंटली ईगो ब्रशिंग जिसको बोलते हैं ना, कि सामने वाले का एक ईगो ब्रशिंग होगा कि यस ही हैज अग्रीड, but you are then putting up your points that yes, you are right, but we can do this and that and that. So you have not agreed, but you have agreed to his sentence. So that's
Absolutely.
also one technique.
I think this validation really helped them to feel safe, because we both are, if we both are threatened, then we are not going to go anywhere. So if someone, suppose I'm talking to you and you're already triggered for, from the start of the conversation, and I'm not, and I'm saying, hey Vipul, you're right, so I'm automatically directing you towards safety. That means now we two are same color and we can talk. Like, I remember I took a parenting course when I became a parent first time in 2010, and they said, when your child is shouting, we also get triggered, right? We also start, hey, what's happening? We also start shouting. So they said, don't match the color when your child is shouting. Look that as a red color, because red is like, hot, and red color itself is like too much going on there. So what you have to do is you have to stay green, and you have to make your child green by calming that person down in safety. And that happens in conversations with grown up too. Like you just said, like, how do we validate how when they're red? How do we validate their emotions, turn them to green, and then move on, rather than on the hot iron, just adding more heat doesn't really help. I'll give you an example also about car parking. Like, I was reading, so many deaths happen globally just on the fight of where to park the car, because the spots are less and everyone is in a rush to be somewhere, right? And people don't think about we, then it's about me. I want to go and shop first, I want to go and pick my kid first. And that fights are so lethal that, so like, thousands of people have died in US. I've been reading statistics in India also. We have like hundreds of deaths just fighting for the car where to park. And why does this happen is other person is not ready to give, align the solutions and say, okay, you are in emergency today, I'm gonna bow down, let you, because you have someone elderly, listen to their story, to take care, I let you go. You do one or two times, maybe third time your karma will give you a third spot, eventually. Or just get to know that, emotionally, that, oh, this place is always packed, I better take a bus or a cycle or something, so it will help you to even change your action, because and take you towards solution. So people fight for even small things like kids, and the results are very detrimental, and it's all about really matching needs and giving solutions to each other.
So in India, I tell you, in India, it's not fighting is not on the parking issues, because we are very much, careless about parking. We park anywhere and everywhere. Though nowadays systems are quite changing, and a lot of penalties and everything are coming up. But here, major accidents are happening on the crossings. Because like I want to be the first, so everyone wants to be the first.
Right.
Everyone wants to jump the crossings, and that's the chaotic situation, and there major accidents are happening. So yeah, anyway, let's coming to the topic. The next question is, how do you ensure you are actively listening and understanding the other person's perspective during a difficult conversations? Because as we say, listening is an art, and how we can use that effectively?
Yeah. As we keep hearing from the salespeople, like 80% is a no and 20% is a yes. The same goes in difficult conversation, and in fact, usual conversations too. And I have also kind of, I have still not there yet, but I'm I'm kind of transforming myself too, being a coach, definitely, but even around my friends, I would jump up to say something, but now I'm trying to be more of a listening person. And they say 80% is listening, 20% is talking. So even when you're having any conversations, specifically when it comes to misunderstanding, or when it comes, if you're something is at stake, it's all about listening. So I give you an example, like suppose you're working on together with your team, and you are working on a strategy, and you realize that if you don't get this strategy passed, you know that your team is not going to reach the annual financial goals. So things are highly at stake, right? So when you enter, you really want this to be done because you're aiming about financial gain, 100% gain. So when you enter the room and your team feels like, this strategy is not the way we want, and we want it to change this way and that way, go in this direction, add that. So there will be a lot of changes. So being active listener is really 80% listening, understanding, and logically interpreting, like, okay, is this aligned with what we want? Is it workable or not? Or rather than getting affected, by saying, oh, my suggestion is not taken. Oh, I am supposed to bring that, financial figure for the end of the year. Everything is at stake. So really not being from that perspective, like everything is on a radar and they have to just hear me out. It has to change. And while active listening, maybe that person would get to know, oh, actually we can implement two or three other things, and it might add to more annual income, or maybe a reduction to 10%. And maybe that cohesiveness and inclusiveness is improving the team engagement, because there's a lot of team disengagement resulting in revenues, loss of revenues across industries. So maybe it's not 100% there, but how that inclusiveness and people feeling significant in any contribution is helping the team. So that is all about, like, again, active listening is not just about you. And most of the time when we are not active listening, it's because we are not really working from our core. We are working from our insecurities, because a part of us who always wants to be right, that part will be like, oh, we have to be right, so we are basically serving that part. So we have to shift from that part and stick to our core and think what is right. The inclusion is right, again, those leadership principles. So that it's all entail, it's all about, again, involving everyone and really actively being there for them, not just listening sake, but also aligning what has been discussed and incorporated.
Very well said. Inclusiveness, and I will say mindfulness. If you will, practice the mindfulness, then you will be in the presence and you will relate with what the other person is saying, and then you will be able to listen him actively. And I also see, I have also observed that eye contacts also play a major role in active listening. The other person feel, and you also will be able to concentrate on that effectively. What is your take on that?
Yeah, very well said, Vipul. Like, if how do you show the engagement? Like, I'm with you. If you're talking to me, I'm checking my phone. That is definitely a sign that person is not here. And sometimes people also say mirroring. So, for example, if I'm just sitting like this while you're talking, that might not give you that much motivation. But when I mirror you, if you're sitting straight, I sit straight. I nod. Like, I don't have to copy you, but we are in a sync. So it really helps. Psychology say it really helps to give great results, because I'm not only actively listening from my ear, but with my physiology, with my intention to be with you and to work together, rather than being on a disinterested and disconnected, that kind of thing. So that physiology is very important. Thanks for reminding and bringing it forward here.
My pleasure. So can you share an example of a difficult conversation where you successfully resolved a conflict, and what steps did you took to do that?
Yeah, I think I will bring two examples, one from my personal life and other from professional life. So from personal life, I would say, I guess it was difficult because I'm from South Asia. I'm from India, and we have this age bias. So whatever elders say, you have to respect and do it. So, for example, when I was selected to work in UN and to work in Indonesia, there was some kind of hiccups like, oh, is she going to go there? And I was like, of course I'm going to go there. So I knew that I'm going to go there. But for me, it was like, I don't want to sit there and make everyone agree that, or get their approval, because I'm going, my suitcase are packed. But I told myself, like, maybe it's about just sitting there and involving them in my decision, and that will make others happy, that it was inclusive. So it was very difficult for me because a part of me knew that there might be some angle of not kind of not agreeing to my plan, and that insecurity was kind of making me that, oh, I really need to hurry up and just stick to my plan. But I realized that just sharing up and opening up and telling that this is what I really want to do, it helped me to kind of stick to what I want to do. And people really don't have to do anything with that, they just wanted to be included, I guess. So sometimes that's the thing. And professionally, a lot, I mean, it's a day-to-day thing. I think one of the most difficult conversation I had is when I realized that I'm not being paid equal, like equal salary to my colleague who is male, and we are working similar number of hours, and we have similar experience. And some were like, oh, it's all right, this is how it happens. And I was like, no, I'm going to talk about it. So I went to my boss, and I said, like, this is what is happening, and I'm giving equal efforts, I have similar experience, and I would really expect a pay hike, because we put similar amount of work, and there's no reason that I should be paid less. And it was really difficult because I could feel my heart was like pounding, and I was sweating. And I was like, because my other part was like, no, he's gonna say no and things like that. But he said, okay, we'll think about it and consider in our next meeting. And I came out like, yes, this is great. So I guess I also realized that difficult conversations are like, it's just first step on any ladder. The more you do that, like in any experience, the more you experience them, it becomes easy. I think the heart pounding gets lighter, sweating gets also lesser, and I guess it becomes very easier when you go ahead and face again those conversations. So I would say, like, everyone should really be open to such conversations and have a strategy in mind to deal with it. Then it's all about easing out and having a good quality in their life.
Very, very relevant and very good examples. Thank you for sharing your personal example. And yeah, so what steps did you take? Would you like to highlight that again? Any major steps or any quick steps which personally will help anyone to start this kind of conversations?
Right. I think, as I said at the beginning of our conversation, it's a lot of emotional and mental preparedness. And I would add one more thing here is kind of logical preparation too. So when I say logical, it's about, have you checked the data? Have you checked the figures? Have you checked, like, whatever you're going to talk about? Did you really compared what's working, what's not working? What is your communication strategy? How you're going to define it? And some of the things could be really gray because you don't know that. So this is the point when you start involving others, people who have been there, who have done that, and ask them how it worked for them, and what do you think about this? And the more and more opinions you will get, like for example my conversation about my salary hike, I did not go straight away. I went across, I talked to people I really admire, and they like me, I like them, and I said, like, what do you think about this? Should I go and talk about it? And they said, yes, definitely, you deserve that, go and talk about it. And you're not going to lose anything, like I mean, you might lose your job, but it's a good thing. That means you're not at the right place. So definitely, apart from mental preparation and emotional preparation, being on your skill and techie side, be on top of everything. So because it's going to help you to come with a really better solution when you have information on the top of your fingers, and also the experience of other people, how they dealt with it. So when you go and talk about it, things would be definitely, in terms of more informational, logical, and be more present.
Yeah, here I would like to highlight one thing where you rightly said, taking help of mentors or someone whom you respect will also give you a lot of energy and a lot of motivation, because they'll be able to, see what they'll be able to see, and they'll be able to help you with the real life example. So yeah, that helps.
Someone
Great.
was telling me that a lot of time we try to be revolutionary in our life, and this is the mistake we do because we want to do something different, something new. We don't ask around, and they say, we are never revolutionary. We all have been evolutionary. We evolve from something which has been done. We take that as a baseline, and then we convert it to something next, right? So everything, whether it's a conversation or anything that you're working on, everything is evolutionary. So take a good use of what has been done, the experience of people, and people love sharing their experience. Like, it's only our resistance. We're like, should we go? Should we connect? Whom should we connect? Have that clarity and talk. And nowadays, with all this online thingy, people are so open to connect, hold Zoom call wherever they are. So they are more approachable, open also after COVID. So things are working on everyone's side.
You rightly said we need to just start. People love to share their experience and love to share their knowledge, and that's why we are here and on 119th episode. I've started with first episode, and I felt that yeah, people would love to come up and share their experience, and thanks to person like you who came here, and people love to share their experience. So
But hats
yeah.
off to you, Vipul. It takes so much, like 109. Can you believe that? 109 times you did that. This is like what leaders do, consistency, consistency. And I was going through the trail of, all the talks and so much quality, like two, three sessions. I mean, I couldn't see all, but everyone has a quality. Like if someone sits down and you can easily.
Everyone is coming and sharing their real life experience. They are just pouring their heart and soul into it, and that's how, when after the live is over, when we had a one-on-one conversation, they give us like, I really enjoyed it, and I love sharing my experience. So that's how I am getting motivated. Yeah.
Thanks for
So
that.
yeah. So the next question is, how do you maintain respect and empathy even when you strongly disagree with the other person? Like you said, you went to your boss and you said that this is not right. You need to increase my salary. You need to make it equal to the other person. So how do you maintain that? How do you do that?
Yeah, I think if you're mentally prepared and if you have also done a lot of practice, I haven't. I was too young then. I don't think so. I've done that. That's why I have more heart pounding and everything. And he was my boss, so definitely I have to be more respectable and stuff. But in general, I understand where this question is coming from. I think the most important thing is to realize that come what may, you are safe, because all these reactions, like oh, you said not respecting someone, having a rage, or not being empathetic, it all only comes from serving me. It's me, right? And saving myself more than serving for safety, my safety. So first of all, if we tell ourselves like, come what may, this discussion is not end of the world, either we find some solution or we move on. um, we don't work together, but with respect. Why we need to have a disrespect and create a rage? For example, I was thinking to bring this example this evening, like, when a simple fight is going on, in between two people, and someone say, hey, they're fighting, and then they say, मैं उसको जाके देखता हूँ, right? So it's like more like मैं जाके उसको देखता हूँ, but rather than his, मैं उसको जाके समझता हूँ. So rather than reactionary side, you have to go and understand that, like, why is this fighting about, and of course it comes up with a lot of practice and what's the actual situation is. So coming to your point, how to maintain respect is really knowing that I will telling yourself I will not go there. That is not an option. That's not my integrity does not allow me to have conversation at that level. And if that is happening, if I'm triggering, and I have to really again check in, like why I'm feeling unsafe. Maybe that person is continuously pressing your bell, continuously triggering you in spite of reminders. Then it's the time to disengage and, create your boundaries respectfully. So have that respect for yourself, because that person is definitely not in alignment, and in spite of your all attempts, the alignment is not happening. So it's disengagement and moving on. So respectfully accepting that things are not going to work. So, and this is how you disagree. You don't have to really be empathetic about them. If they have real reasons, then understand that and don't take as a personal loss. I guess, as I said, the conversations are never just linear, so you have to see from all, it's organic, it's modular. You have to be open to see from all different perspective, and also realize it's not my 100% victory. I guess that really helps you to stay grounded.
You rightly said, disconnect. Many times keeping distance helps you. So it's not like just spoiling relations or cutting relations with anyone. Just keep the distance. If you're meeting him daily, then meet him once a week, once a month. Instead of having a long conversation, just good morning, good night, hi, hello. That makes a
But
difference.
sometimes you cannot like make you can make everyone happy on this planet. You have to accept that too. And then you disconnect with a respect. Maybe it's a last time buy, and that's okay, because see, you have to keep your core safe. If you keep exposing yourself to something, they are not ready to see your perspective. They are not going to respect what you want. So it's you're in misalignment, because you're trying everything to adjust and find alignment, find solution. But if they're like, no, it's all about me, it's 100% me, then I guess boundaries and maybe a final goodbye also helps. So really knowing that, like I was reading about different circles in life. So you have these top, like your inner circle, top 5 people, then top 10 people, and then 10 to 50, and 50 to 100. So 50 to 100 could be those who have already cut off your boundaries with, disturbed you in a way, and you're like, I'm happy to let you go. And they have transitioned from 100 to somewhere you're not going to see them. So I guess people who are in alignment with your values, who really wants to be with you at any cost, they will be definitely in your inner circle, and they are going to also do things to find solutions in alignment. And that's how you have a harmony and balance, right?
Very true, very true. Yeah, thank you, Jitendra, for the appreciation. Nice topic, and each one should learn. And thank you, Mahendra, for the appreciation. Nice session. So, yeah, guys, moving on to the next question. What are some methods you use to address particularly sensitive or controversial topics without escalating the situation?
Yeah, so I think a lot of time visualization also helps. Like I was seeing some of your chats, and people use visualization everywhere, be it sales, be it, going and giving a public speech, be on stage, or even like proposing someone, So really telling what is visualization is basically when something is very sensitive and very controversial, you're already feeling unsafe about, because it's controversial, it's going to trigger people. So you know that you're going to put yourself in some hot furnace, right? So first of all, really asking, is it important, is it at some stake that it needs to be addressed? And definitely it is. That's why you're putting yourself in that hot furnace, right? So really seeing yourself. And what is visualization is, it's basically shifting your brain from an unknown, unfamiliar world to a familiar one by going into the future. Our brain is resisting it, and as a result, it's going to be not authentic. It will be just supporting one side of the argument. It will be not ready to be open and understand the what is going on in the people who have this controversy in their head. So once you visualize and see yourself standing in front of that group of people, and they are like resisting, they are in rage, and there's controversy happening. And then you see yourself as a calm person standing there and say, I hear you, validating, as you said, I hear you guys, but is it going to help us? Yes. They might say yes. Then you say, I hear you, but I see that this is going to affect in so and so way, because you will be also preparing your statistics. So really, really bringing that triggered set of people to at a place of safety by your calmness and also information, like why it's not going to work. So the first step is to address them, is to really also kind of when you are going and talking to them in real life, kind of really bringing them down in terms of their rage and in terms of their emotions, and so they are not triggered anymore, and they are open for a dialogue finally, because anyone who is triggered and anyone who is not themselves, they will not find any solutions. It will be, as I said, the color, both should be green, one green one red, or one red one green. It's not going to work. So definitely visualization and keeping your data in hand, and mirroring and active listening. These are the things which I would again repeat in this question.
Rightly said, visualization helps, this color coding technique really helps, you can relate to the situation and you can really control yourself. And yeah, that's great technique. So the next question is, how do you handle defensiveness from the other party during a difficult conversation?
Right. This is an interesting question. I think we all have been defensive in some time in our life, right? And why we are defensive is when we are, again, insecure and we want to prove that I'm something, or we are defensive, just defending our point, and we are not listening. We are not actively listening others. So that is definitely okay. Good, you want to put your point forward. Maybe it's right, but just being defensive and repeating over and over again is not going to help. So when someone is defensive, I guess first again, back to same thing, like bringing them to their core. Why they're defensive? They are either threatened by someone's confidence, or their presence, or by the sheer facts that, oh, they're gonna say no, so they're already on a different place. So really finding alignment in terms of our thinking process, what solution we are going to achieve here, and kind of making them feel safe. They could be also defensive because they it might be their personality trait. That means one part, so everyone has a core, and one part of them is used to feel like if I'm going to behave in this way, I will get attention. You know how attention seekers are, because they realize they were or rather they had a history of not being involved, right? Why it's coming from, they have a history of not being heard, not being included. So because they have gone through this in their past, they want to be seen, so they will start acting in a different way. So understanding where they are coming from, and in their need is to be heard, to be seen, to be validated, and really serving that need, like, look, I understand you, I really would like you to get your opinion, and really settling them down and getting on the same, uh, same place where things are going to work, and then attending, let's go by point and putting things across, and checking, is it going to work, no, is it not going to work. So again, it's all about really seeing where this person is coming from, and really seeing, is it going to, my strategies are going to serve this person, or this person is constantly triggered, then maybe telling that person, maybe we should meet some other time and catch up again when you're grounded, or you're ready for that open discussion. I want to talk to you about, if you guys think that you have, gone through a phase in your life where you dealt with a difficult conversation and you were not happy. I would like you to bring that here, and we could, kind of role play and find a solution of how you could do that in your future, or maybe something is coming up in your future, maybe a promotion talk with your boss or a meeting with your client, if you want to get some tricks about how to navigate it, towards everyone's win and to feel safe about it, do text us on the chat on the site, and we will include that in our conversation today. So, those who joined us later and those who are here from the beginning, this is a recap for all of you. We talked about difficult conversations, and I started with like, look, conversations are never difficult. We get difficult to handle them. So when we don't operate from a place that I want to win this, it's rather, if the whole situation is coming from I rather than we, then things get difficult. So it's all about finding the alignment, for finding the solutions, and for that you have to be a leader, because not everyone is able to handle it smoothly. And in order to handle that smoothly, you have to be really on top of your emotional presence and mental presence, which will really happen when you prepare yourself in terms of how you're going to handle when someone is going to disagree with you, how you're going to handle when someone is going to, have a totally different perspective with what things are going being presented. So really checking in terms of mental preparedness and emotional preparedness as well, like checking in into your triggers and what kind of emotions your body is feeling, and being prepared with the data, and also meeting people who have been there, who have done that, and you can evolve from their experiences and their knowledge, and add that different flavor to your conversation. We also talk about body language, like in terms of eye contact, in terms of mirroring, the person you're talking to, and things like that. So for that, it's important that you are like 80% listening, 20% talking, and 100% being there in connection with that person, and taking interest in what the person is saying, not being on your gadget or device, and being attuned and showing your real presence when you're talking to the people around you. We also talked about a few examples from past. I gave example from my personal and professional experience, how I navigated that, and how these experiences really help us to move forward and handle difficult situations in a better way. And I guess these experiences also makes us kind of channelize our personality to deal with them in a better way. Else, if we don't have experiences, we will always put ourselves in a bubble of safety. And I guess this is it. And at last, I would
Yes,
like to say, be solution oriented and be aligned, and everything's are going to work in your favor. Vipul, welcome back. I was just giving a
thank you so
summary.
much for managing this difficult scenario. As you are the expert, due to some technical glitch, I lost the network and I'm sorry for the same. So,
It's
yeah, thank you so much for managing this. And yeah, to conclude, please tell us your final words, your concluding notes to summarize the session.
Yeah, I was kind of wrapping it up, but I would definitely say two lines like, never go in a room thinking that everything will work your way. Be open, be aligned, and think from other person's perspective. And that would also help not only to take your thinking to next level, but also understand how things could work better when they are working in terms of favoring everyone around. Because at the end, it's so, as I started as I said in the beginning, it's the power of we rather than just my win, my. A lot of wars are created because of that, because just one person wants to prove himself right, and a lot of people suffer from that, and it's not a great place to be. So, and we all know that when we live our life with gratitude and thankfulness, and really celebrating our life, the quality of life really becomes better. So we have to try it out, and if it doesn't work, then that's okay. We have to respectfully and with dignity say goodbye as well. So this is all I have to say at the end. And thank you so
Well,
much, Vipul, for having me. It's a
well said.
pleasure.
And Yeah, thank you so much. Audience, as I've requested you, you can check Dipti's profile, you can follow her, you can connect with her afterwards, and she'll be happy to help you. You can DM her with your query, and she'll be happy to help you. Thank you, Dipti, for sharing your real life examples, real life learning, and the session was quite an interesting. And uh, as the topic says, managing difficult times. So we have got the real life example also at the end of the session. We got some difficulties and you managed it so well. So thank you so much for managing it. And the session was amazing, I must appreciate. I really liked it. Thank you so much.
You are so, so kind. Thank you so much, Vipul. But,
and
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 yeah,
looking forward to have you on another session with some different interesting topic, as you are into coaching and consulting. So you are coming up with different topics. So would love to have you again on our expert talk show. Thank you so much.
thanks for that. Wish you all goodbye. And thanks to our listeners too for joining us today.
My pleasure. Happy weekend. Thank you so much. Yeah, take care. Yeah. Yeah. Yes, audience, this was our 119th session, and thank you for joining us. Tomorrow, 7 p.m., we will have another expert who will be sharing a real life experience. So stay tuned, follow us, subscribe our YouTube channel, Vipul the Wonderful, and you can also follow us on LinkedIn. You can follow our expert on LinkedIn, and you can connect with them to get more help from them whenever required. And audience, this session was powered by Post Resume. So check our website and connect with us if you are looking for any help, any guidance, any support. We will be happy to help you. So with that note, stay blessed, keep smiling, and see you tomorrow 7